All right, the Boston Bruins make a big trade. This put them over the hump. Will they win the cup? We're going to analyze it. Next up on the Sin Bin. All right, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Matt. Welcome to the Sin Bin. Now, just a few minutes ago, I realized on my phone that the Boston Bruins made an acquisition. They got, wow, she's hot. Oh, yeah, I would do things to her. The Boston Bruins have acquired Ondrej Kase from the Anaheim Ducks in exchange for David Backes, a 2020 first-round picks, and a defensive prospect, Axel Andersson. Let's talk about it a little bit. Let me first start by saying that maybe you guys didn't have the Boston Bruins as a cup favorite. I had them as a cup favorite. I had them as potentially winning the cup. Yes, I chose the Boston Bruins over the Colorado Avalanche, over the Tampa Bay Lightning, so on and so forth. I have a lot of faith in this team. Maybe I shouldn't be saying this because I'm a Canadiens fan, but when I look at the depth they have, when I look at the amount of superstars that they have, whether it be Pastrnak, Marchand, Bergeron, the list goes on and on and on, this team is dangerous. Well, they just got a little bit more dangerous in acquiring Ondrej Kase. Now, let me just get this out of the way. You guys may have seen a bold prediction video that I did just a couple of days ago. I made a bold prediction that might happen on the trade deadline. I said that Chris Kreider, he's a front runner to go to the Boston Bruins. I just thought it was a fairy tale thing. Guy from Massachusetts, he probably grew up rooting for the Bruins. They made a move for Charlie Coyle last year. I thought they would do the same thing in acquiring Chris Kreider. Now, Kreider is a different player than Ondrej Kase in many ways. He's faster. Kreider is one of the fastest players in the NHL. He's bigger, he's grittier, he injures goalies more. So, in a way, I'm sort of disappointed they decided to go the Ondrej Kase route than the Chris Kreider route. But when you really think about it, okay, and you really do have to think about it, because I know a lot of people, they might be disappointed they didn't get Kreider instead. Getting Ondrej Kase, that's not the only positive in this trade. The second positive is that they are getting rid of David Backes' contract. David Backes makes $6 million currently. That's $6 million against your cap space. That is $6 million that you can spend to get a really, really good player. I highly doubt that the Boston Bruins are over now. They have an extra couple of million that they can go and get another player. So when you look at this trade, at face value, they got Ondrej Kase, but when you really think about it, they're actually getting much, much more because, like I said, they're getting rid of that David Backes contract. Now, I said that it was $6 million. They did actually retain 25% of Backes' $6 million cap through the next season, meaning he will only count for $1.5 million against the cap. Nevertheless, I am totally shocked. I got to admit, I am totally shocked that the Boston Bruins found a dance partner to take on that contract. David Backes isn't only a player who's past his prime. This guy got demoted to the AHL. By no means is he an NHL player anymore. And you managed to get a dance partner, another team to take on that contract. I got to say, it's a great trade. If they wanted to get Chris Kreider, they wouldn't have taken David Backes. So that's it. Now, the prospect involved, Axel Andersson, if his name doesn't give it away, he's actually Swedish. If you go on eliteprospects.com, because I'll be honest, I don't get to follow every single prospect on every single team, so I don't know much about this guy. They say he's a skilled defenseman. He skates well. He has an interesting offensive upside with very good passing skills and the ability to lead the rush. He's a strong puck mover and plays well on the man advantage. So that is something that the Anaheim Ducks, I think it's a very interesting asset. But I will say this, from what I'm reading about this guy, Axel Andersson, okay, and from the stats I'm seeing, if you see, this was his first year in North America. He played in the QMJHL, who, by the way, they just banned fighting. How crazy is that? He played with the Moncton Wildcats. Well, he just got 22 points in 41 games. I get it. He's a defenseman. It's different standards and everything for defensemen. But for someone who's an overager in a junior league, I sort of expect that point total to be a little bit higher, especially when I read things of he's a great puck mover, he's a great skater, he seems to have some offensive upside. Let me say this. I don't think that the Boston Bruins gave up the house to get Ondrej Kase. It's not like they had to give up Stunica or anyone like that, who I think is a much, much better prospect than Axel Andersson. But that's just me at face value. Again, I don't get to follow these prospects as much as maybe some Boston fans. So if there's any Bruins listeners, please let me know, who is this Axel Andersson guy. If he's, would you say he's an A prospect, a B prospect, so on and so forth. Now, obviously, they also get the first rounder. Anaheim does. If the Boston Bruins are going to go for the cup, that first rounder is obviously going to be very low. So it's not like you're giving up much there either. Look, I think it's a very good trade. And for a team that's going to go for it, a team that wants to make it to the cup, they did make it to the final last year. You have to make these type of trades. I know it sucks to see some of your future assets, get traded away, but what has to be done. It's a win-win for both sides. Boston gets the immediate asset. Anaheim gets assets for the future, which is only normal for a team that is rebuilding. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, look at the title above me. This is the Sin Bin Hockey Podcast, and every Friday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we're going to talk hockey. I think today we're going to do more so of a trade deadline preview, maybe talk about some of the trades that already happened earlier this week. Nonetheless, the Ondrej Kase trade. So if you like this video, make sure to tune in at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for the Sin Bin Hockey Podcast. Now, my name is Matt. If you like me, you can follow me on Twitter. And without further ado, keep your stick on the ice.